September 15th. Prayer is where the action is. John Wesley. John Wesley is said to have preached to nearly 1 million people. He ushered in a mighty revival in England. He was a man of prayer and insisted on his ministers spending hours daily in prayer. No doubt, he learned the value of prayer from his mother, Susanna. Sharon Glasgow writes of Susanna Wesley's prayer life. Susanna Wesley was married to a preacher. They had 10 children, of which 2 grew up to bring millions of souls to Christ. That would be John and Charles Wesley. It's a powerful story if you stop there, isn't it? But behind the door of her home, hopeless conditions were the norm. She married a man who couldn't manage money. They disagreed on everything from money to politics. They had 19 children, all except 10 died in infancy. Sam, her husband, left her to raise the children alone for long periods of time. This was sometimes over something as simple as an argument. One of their children was crippled. Another couldn't talk until he was nearly 6 years old. Susanna herself was desperately sick most of her life. There was no money for food or anything. Debt plagued them. Sam was once thrown into debtor's prison because their debt was so high, which doubled their problems. Twice the homes they lived in were burned to the ground, losing everything they owned. It was assumed that their church members did it because they were so mad at what Sam preached in the pulpit. Someone slit their cows' udders so they wouldn't have milk, killed their dog, and burned their flax field. When Susanna was young, she promised the Lord that for every hour she spent in entertainment, she would give an hour to Him in prayer and in the Word. Taking care of the house and raising so many kids made this commitment nearly impossible to fulfill. She had no time for entertainment or long hours in prayer. She worked the gardens, milked the cow, schooled the children, and managed the entire house herself. So she decided to instead give the Lord 2 hours a day in prayer. She struggled to find a secret place to get away with Him. So she advised her children that when they saw her with her apron over her head, that meant she was in prayer and couldn't be disturbed. She was devoted to her walk with Christ, praying for her children and knowledge in the Word, no matter how hard life was. John and Charles Wesley did mighty things for God, but it all started with a housewife and mother praying 1 hour each morning and 1 hour every evening with her head buried in an apron. Today's prayer: Lord Jesus, I want to be a person of action, so make me a person of prayer.